I've hunted public land for a lifetime, and every 2 or 3 years I'll run into somebody lost out in the woods and have to show them the way out. They're usually not lost too bad. They would have found their way, but they would have had a hard time. I'm not knocking that at all, because I've been mixed up myself. And you got to give credit to those adventurous souls that go out seeking adventure and take risks. However, there's some things you can do to minimize those risks, like just buying a $5 compass and knowing which direction the road is. In this week's video, let's take a look at navigation and navigating public lands. So for me, there's a lot of ways you can navigate public woods. The first thing you need to know is you need to have a good compass. A lot of people nowadays think they can get away with just a phone. Something can go wrong. You can fry that phone out, battery can go dead. A lot of things can go wrong. You need to have a compass and know how to use it if you're going to penetrate very large wooded areas. And you need to take a reading at your truck so you know which direction you need to go to hit the road if you get mixed up.
And that's a good point too with travel. How far should someone expect to put boots on the ground, big woods wise?
Well, I guess it depends on where you're hunting.
Yeah.
I mean, in Wisconsin, you get up in the north woods, and it's really hard to go 3-4 miles without hitting another road.
Yeah.
There's not too many spots. There's a few,
Yeah.
but there's not too many. But you get up into northern Minnesota, you get up near the boundary waters, and you could literally walk till you died.
Yeah.
But, so, I mean, it's really relative to where you're at. But, I mean, you're going to want to navigate to spots where big bucks are. And the only way to find out they're there is to navigate to them. So people are going to have to do some walking. You don't have to. There's plenty of big bucks that are right alongside the roadsides, even in the big woods. And as a matter of fact, I think the big woods draw people to go in further even more and keep them away from the road edges, thinking that they're not man enough if they don't go out far or whatever. But a lot of times those big bucks are close to the road or are close to, where the people will park. And
Well, that kind of relates to a point that you made before, again, going back to the transitions, clear cuts that regrow, heavy cover. Well, I've noticed that alongside a lot of roadways up north in big wood scenarios, you get a lot thicker cover, where you get ditches that are overgrown, and there'll be thicker cover there. And then it opens up into this kind of expansive, mature tree area. So those roadways seem to hold more cover.
Well, anytime there's an opening, it creates cover.
Yeah.
And the roads are an opening. Following transitions is a great way to go back there because you follow it right back out. However, it doesn't look the same when it's dark. But rivers, openings you can follow in. A lot of guys in this big woods environment where you can walk for miles are afraid of just taking off and getting lost. Well, if you're looking for good hunting, transitions, right? Well, this river is going to create transitions. It's also going to have oxbows along it. It's going to have bedding along it. And a good axis in is to follow a river. You follow it in, follow it out. Walk close enough that you can hear it. All along the edge of this river is going to be spots with good bedding along it. But other people can do that too. Sometimes you got to go across the woods to get to a transition or something, and you just got to use a compass or your GPS to get out. Man, it's a long way out of here navigating with a compass. The one thing is, big woods as far as equipment goes, is I want to go as light as possible. If you're navigating all over the place and you're hiking way back in those woods, you don't want to be looking at backpacks. You want to steal the stuff with you in your truck. When you're hunting and you're scouting, really that bottle of water and your bow and your stand and your sticks is about what you need.
We got a good transition here right up against the swamp. We just need to follow this transition for about 1.5 miles. We'll get to that island when we need to. It's just about northwest is what this transition runs. It'll take us right to that island where we're going.
Sounds good.
All right, let's do it.
Let's go. You should probably take water with you on your hunt. I mean, I don't always do that here,
Yeah.
but up there, I mean, if you did get lost, I mean, you can get by for a few days, but you can't get by without water.
Right.
You can't. So having a bottle of water with you is probably a good idea. And just don't get yourself in dangerous situations. Don't do something that's going to break your leg or something. You know, take the long way around if it looks like it's hazardous terrain. You know, because if you get hurt in some really remote areas, there might not be anybody to get you out of there, but you.
Right. Well, I guess that's a good point with if you're navigating clear cuts or you're navigating areas that have beaver dams or trying to get across that creek or waterway, understand your location, your proximity to where someone else that could help you because, yeah, in a remote area, it's going to take a while for someone to get to you.
Yeah. When we hunt northern Minnesota, you know, they don't even have hospitals up there. In order for them to get you, they have to come up with a helicopter. You're really responsible for yourself. So you really have to think about your safety. And I do have a first aid kit in the truck.
This is our first time ever in this swamp, and we're in over 2 miles. I'm just navigating with a compass, so I'm hoping I find my way out. No, I'm pretty good with a compass.
If you travel into unknown areas that you don't normally go to, it's important that you first look at some maps and carry a map with you and know where landmarks are and what directions they are. I like to carry a map inside of a waterproof container if I'm going into someplace remote. In case I get wet, the map doesn't get destroyed. Phones are great for navigation, but make sure you still have a compass. Compasses won't fail like a phone. The batteries won't go dead. You won't lose your GPS signal on a compass. On a map, you can look for rivers, you can look for lakes, you can look for high ridges, things that are landmarks you can navigate to, or if you hit them, you'll know where you're at. Before I go out, at the road, I take a reading, which direction I'm going. And if you use your compass with your map, make sure you understand the difference between magnetic north and true north, because they're different. Know which direction the sun sets, know which direction the sun rises. You can navigate with a moon to your left. You could use things as guidance to go a certain direction. I like to pick an object in the distance, look at my compass in the direction I want to go, and I head for that object, whether it's an odd-shaped tree, whether it's a light, whether it's a star, whatever it is. At least it keeps you in a direction where every now and then you can check your compass and make sure, but you're traveling in a straight line. As long as you let somebody know where you're going to be and how long you're going to be gone, if you get lost and you really have no idea of where you're at, the best thing you can do is probably just sit still and wait, because you can travel a long ways off course and get to where people can't find you if you start wandering around lost. If you're going into a place that's really, really remote, make sure you have more than one flashlight. Being lost is one thing. Being lost with no light is a whole nother ballgame. A lot of guys in the Northwoods like to use flags. They tie flagging around branches and use that to navigate in, and then they have a path back out. And the trouble with that is some people come around and they'll tear them down on you. And they are an eyesore, and they do pollute, and a lot of people are against them. Now, I'm not against them if it's going to get you in and out of the woods, but remove them when you're done, and realize that somebody else could come along and rip those down on you. It's happened to people I know. If you're traveling to some place to hunt, and you don't have a lot of buddies around there, and you're not familiar with the area, remember when you shoot a deer, you got to be able to get that deer back out of there. So think about that when choosing the spots you're going to hunt, and how remote they are. But we are probably close to 2 miles back right now, and it's getting dark, and we got
Yeah.
stands and sticks and everything else. What do you think, 2 miles?
Yeah, at least we got a nice little walk.
Yeah. A lot of times when we hunt far up north, we don't even have access to radio, to news. The phones don't work. And you don't know if there's a storm coming or something. You can get back a couple miles and not know there's a storm on the way. So you have to be a little more prepared for things that can happen while you're in the field when you're on a remote hunt.
I just got on stand. It looks like there's one hell of a wind storm blowing in. And I'm about a mile and a half back into the swamp, so there's no getting out of here. Guess we'll just pack up the camera and wait for it.
Hope you enjoyed the show, and hopefully it gets you to go out and buy a $5 compass. See ya.